Steve, if it's possible, was Draymond even more engaged tonight? I mean, and how did that sort of set the tone for your defense?
Yeah, I thought everybody was more engaged. It was pretty obvious, our level of force and physicality was ramped up quite a bit, and it had to be. What Boston did in the second half, fourth quarter the other night, we knew we had to come with a much better focus and sense of aggression, and I thought that started right from the beginning. Draymond played a huge role in that.
Connor, back right.
Connor Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. Steve, in your mind, was that third quarter kind of a window into what this team can be when it's at its best, both offensively and defensively?
Yeah, I mean, Steph was breathtaking in that quarter. Not just the shot making, but the defensive effort. He just doesn't get enough credit for his level of conditioning and physicality and defense. People go at him to try to wear him down because they know how important he is to us offensively. And it's pretty dramatic, the difference in Steph's strength and physicality and his body now than from 8 years ago when I first got here. So the guy's amazing. He just keeps working on his game, his strength, his conditioning year after year, and it's a pleasure to watch him play every night.
Tim on the right.
Steve, what could you realistically expect from Peyton in this game? Was it this many minutes, and what do you think it meant to the team just to have him out there and obviously to play well, too?
I might have mentioned this last week. The good thing with an elbow is that you can still get on the court. So he was on the court 3 weeks ago going through intense, defensive slides and sprints and, one-on-one full court, without using his left arm. So just dribbling with his right hand, and so he's been at it with the conditioning for several weeks, and so that was the least of my concerns. I was worried about just him being able to extend his arm and shoot the ball, but he knocked that three down. And as I said before the game, he had a couple good days of practice where he looked much better than he did going into game one. So he needed the extra few days to really be ready. And I thought he was brilliant. The level of defense, physicality, and speed in transition, it gives us a huge boost.
Howard on the right.
Steve, through the first couple of games, obviously we're used to seeing Steph carry this kind of load for you guys, but in past finals runs you've had, whether it was Durant or Clay pre-injury, obviously, any concern about the load that's on Steph just as a pure scoring in this series and in terms of how to get this done, how to have enough support around him? Is this going to be kind of a different challenge?
There's plenty of concern about plenty of things. Boston's a hell of a team. They have a great defense. They've got guys who are athletic and powerful and can get to the rim. And so whatever it takes, we're going to need contributions from a lot of people. And, I think we're perfectly capable of winning games where Steph doesn't have a huge night. It just means other guys got to step up and score for us. But that's something that they've done all year.
Barry in the middle here.
Hey, Steve, Barry Bloom from Sportico. Your first half, you had no offensive rebounds, no second half, second chance buckets until the very end of the half. It seems like you guys take your mid-range jumpers, you take your three-pointers. If they don't hit, then that's it. The ball goes the other way. Is that something that you want, or is it something that you'd like to make an adjustment on?
Well, we've been a pretty good offensive rebounding team throughout the playoffs. I thought that in the first half, it was an incredibly physical game, and shots were hard to come by. We weren't getting past them on offense, so that we weren't really creating any defensive rotations, and which would lead to offensive boards. So if the game can open up for us a little bit like it did in the third quarter, then we're able to get better shots to make the defense rotate, and then you got a chance to get a few offensive boards like Wiggs did in that third quarter.
Anthony on the left.
Yeah, it had obviously been a pretty rough first three halves of the series for Jordan. You put him in late third, and he kind of, has that flurry. What can that do for him? Did you see anything different, that was going on with him in that second half?
No, nothing different. I think the deeper you get in the playoffs, the better the competition, the better the defense. So it's you have to adjust. You got to figure out how to attack, and you have to do that as a team. You have to do that individually too. So Jordan's still a very young player, learning on the fly, but he's had such a great season, and he's so talented and confident that I have a lot of faith that he'll figure this out. And I thought tonight he did a good job of finding his way.
Steve, I'm Young with ESPN. You guys go on a 41-14 run after halftime. What did you or any of the team leaders say at halftime? And then also, after these first two games, what would you assess how you guys have played? I mean, obviously, you blew the lead in game one, then in game two, you blow them out.
Really, there wasn't a whole lot of strategic change. A couple tweaks here and there. The preparation was mostly about our intensity and physicality, and it was obviously ramped up tonight, and it needed to be given what Boston did in game one. So that's the name of the game in the finals. It's hard to get an open shot out there, and it's supposed to be difficult. Game one was too easy for Boston with the looks they were getting in that fourth quarter.
Last question, Vince in the middle.
Vince Goodwell, Yahoo Sports. Steve, the Celtics' bugaboo this playoffs has basically been to turn the ball over. You guys forced a lot, especially early. Was that a point of emphasis coming in, especially putting Draymond on Jaylen Brown and trying to disrupt that matchup?
I think turnovers are often a byproduct of physicality and intensity, and I thought we brought that from the start. Draymond had plenty to do with that. So did Gary. So did Wiggs. I thought our whole team was physical and intense, and we did a good job of trying to make things difficult for them.
Thanks, Coach.